What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this video. So today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. This is in collaboration with Team Heart on YouTube. So this is a group over on Instagram where a group of us that have different congenital heart defects have come together, and most of us make videos on YouTube about our heart conditions and everything that kind of comes with that. So if you'd like to check out the page, I will leave the link down in the description. But it is my turn to do the self-isolation, the quarantine, CHD, Q&A. So here we go. We're gonna answer these questions. I have not read these questions. I do not know what I am answering. We're just gonna go into it. Question 1.
When did it hit your city?
I honestly don't know exactly like a pinpoint time when it hit the city. There were like stories that we actually had a wave of it back at the end of 2019, but like nobody knew that's what it was yet. And so I kind of think our like big wave happened before the whole pandemic really started. So, you know, it wasn't until early April when like it was kind of like, oh, this is what's happening, it's coming and all this. We are having a pretty big second wave, I guess you could say, right now as of recording this. So I don't have a pinpoint date of when that actually started in our city.
Were you prepared before it hit your city?
Again, I don't know when you would consider when it technically hit our city, because we really don't have a pinpoint date. But from when we kind of knew about it, I feel like we're pretty much prepared. I took about 2 weeks before I started self-isolating, before I started quarantining myself. I still worked for about 2 more weeks from, you know, starting to know about it to it actually hitting and everything. So I feel like for the most part, I was prepared. My family was prepared.
Are you in self-isolation?
Now this one's kind of hard to say. I first started out on April 1st, self-isolating myself, self-quarantining, whatever you want to say the term is. And I did. I stayed home and didn't go hardly anywhere. Honestly, I didn't go anywhere. But now, as of June 29th, I've gone back to work in a sense, but like not fully back to work. I'm going before the store even opens where I work, and so I'm not dealing with any of the public. I'm not dealing with customers. And then if I do ever go out somewhere, it's maybe once every 1 or 2 weeks. You know, it's still very like spread out of when and where I go. And if I ever do go out, it's maybe 1 or 2 places and that's it. So, I mean, yes, I am still self-isolating myself, but not quite to the extreme that I started, if that makes sense.
How long have you been in self-isolation?
Well, like I said, I started April 1st, so however many days that's been. Is there a day counter? Can someone count the days for me? Basically since April 1st, but again, I don't know if you would totally consider myself self-isolated still or not, since I have kind of gone back to work. But yeah, since April 1st.
How long is it likely that you'll stay in self-isolation?
I think this one's hard to answer for anyone. Mainly because like we don't know when it'll like the numbers, the cases will decrease, when it'll technically be safe again, you know, when there will be a vaccine, you know, this and that. There's so many different aspects to this whole situation that I don't know anybody could answer this question very like solid. So honestly, it's really playing it by ear, honestly. So, I mean, I really don't have any big plans anymore, I should say. So like, there's not like this big plan of, oh, I'm gonna go do this and that's gonna be the day I just cut off and stop self-isolating. There was an event I was gonna go to in September, but I honestly don't know if it's still being held or not. There's really been no update on it as far as I've seen, and that's because it's kind of still a ways out there. And again, depending on how the situation is by then and if it still is going on, will kind of depend if I do end up going or not. So I really don't have an answer for that. Just playing it by ear.
What is your rules for self-isolation? An example, can you go outside at all?
So I'm lucky enough that I have a backyard I can go chill in. I mean, it's not like the biggest backyard, but I mean, it's decently sized. You know, I'm able to go outside, get some sunshine, you know, enjoy some fresh air. I walk out, get the mail if I want. I can go on a walk around my neighborhood if I want. If I do end up going out somewhere in the public, wear a mask for sure. I mean, everybody, I think, hopefully should be doing this. I had been wearing gloves wherever I've gone, but then I heard the whole thing of like, and this makes sense, that, you know, you're wearing your gloves and then you're touching everything, you know, being out, and then, you know, you're wearing your gloves somewhere else, and whatever you touched at the previous place is now being transferred to this next place. And it makes sense, and so I don't wear gloves anymore going places. I do wear them at work, but that's because I have days in between when I do go to work, and so my gloves like I have them sit outside in the sun, you know, for a good like 48 hours before I use them again. So I feel like it's a good enough time that they've kind of lost anything that accumulated on them. But I do obviously have some hand sanitizer anytime I do go out, but again, I really only go out if it's again a need. There have been a few times I've been going for once, but it's so far and few in between that I feel like it's okay. Anything that I really want, I try to order online if I can right now, so that way I'm not going out. But if there's anything that I am looking into that I do have to go in to somewhere to buy, again, it's so far and few in between that I feel like it's okay and I'm safe. And again, I take the extra precaution. We have a UV light, so on top of the hand sanitizer, anything we do bring into our house, we sit and like wave the light around it and kill the germs on there as well. So those are kind of the basics of how I've been living. I did just recently go camping, but again, we were out in the mountains with no one really around us, and so there wasn't really a reason to take precautions out in the mountains. So
Thoughts and feelings on isolation?
This one's kind of a weird question. I don't really know how to answer that. If you feel like you need to, then you should. If you feel like you don't need to, you know, you feel like you're okay, then so be it. I feel like that's a very opinionated answer. For me, it's been fine. Like I wouldn't say that I shouldn't self-isolate myself, but like at the same time, could I get away with not doing it? Probably, but obviously there's all the risks. And so it's really like a weighing the pros and cons. I feel like there's more benefits of doing it, but I know there are plenty of cons doing it as well. So I don't really know how to answer that one fully, to be honest.
What's the hardest part of isolation?
Honestly, just interacting with other people. I mean, I feel like a lot of people will say that. I feel like I'm a people person, and that's a big reason I do YouTube, is because I'm able to interact with so many other people and talk with so many other people. And I know it's all digitally, but you know, we're able to connect in some way. But honestly, just even going to work, I miss, you know, just the casual work chat, you know. And I have been kind of getting it going the times that I am now, but again, it's so short and there's just only like maybe 2 people there at a time and 2 other people there at a time, you know. But honestly, I think I just really miss that like little work community and kind of having the little conversations at work that I would that I'm not really having anymore. But again, I feel like a lot of people can and do, you know, miss the whole social aspect of life and being out. And so, I mean, I guess I'll say the same thing.
Best part of isolation.
Y'all do not understand. I am a freaking homebody. I always have been. Me and my oldest sister are. We just love to be home. Me and my other sister used to spend at least a week at my grandma's house every summer. And every time we did that, I got homesick after like the first day or two because I wanted to be home so much. I just love being home. And so honestly, just the fact that I just get to be home has been amazing. But there have been so many other little like blessings I guess you could say, being self-isolated because I've been able to really focus in on my YouTube channel a lot, and this is what I want to do with my life. I want to create content. I've always loved making videos and stuff, and so it's helped me to be able to put a lot more focus into it, and I feel like a lot has come out of that, and I've been really appreciative of that. And I mean, it's kind of another reason I want to do YouTube as well, is because I gotta be home, you know? And so I think the best thing about being self-isolated is I get to be in my happy place 24/7.
Have you taken up a new hobby? If so, what?
You know, I've seen a lot of people do this, and I think it's really cool. I think a lot of people have kind of expanded and tried new things, and I think that's really awesome. I personally have not, just because again, I put so much time and focus into my YouTube channel now since I've self-isolated, and so any free time that I really have has kind of not become free time anymore. It's become YouTube time, which I've loved. I'm loving what I'm doing. I love creating this content, coming up with ideas for videos and all this, talking with other people and kind of sharing our ideas and this and that. So I feel like I haven't used my time to come up with any new hobbies or try anything new, but rather try to put all that time and effort into doing YouTube videos, which again, I've loved.
What do you miss since isolation?
Okay, this is gonna sound really silly, but one thing I really miss is me and my best friend, her now husband, and my girlfriend would oftentimes go do photo shoots. We go take pictures of each other and everything. We do this honestly every few months. And we have not been able to do that, honestly, even before the self-isolation. Like, we really haven't done it since I think I went to camera camp in September. And, you know, we were kind of planning to do it, but then all this started happening. And so now I am going crazy. I need this like photo shoot time, and I'm sure we could go find, you know, a place that's away from the public, away from people, and do it. But again, it's just like time and scheduling and stuff. But that is something that I've found that I've really missed being at home, is just going out and taking pictures. And as silly as it sounds, that's what I've missed.
What is helping you cope with isolation?
I mean, I've kind of already said it. Doing all the YouTube videos and putting not all my, but a lot of my focus and time into creating content for my channel has really kept me sane, I guess you could say. I also have a podcast. So if I'm not doing the YouTube stuff, I'm doing the podcast stuff. So I've really kept myself busy. And I know that's kind of a general answer, is keep yourself busy. But I really have, but it's been with, I've been keeping myself busy with stuff that I enjoy and I actually want to do. I mean, of course, there's been the times of like, oh my gosh, like it's starting to dread on me and stuff, but I honestly haven't had a real like big moment of like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. I got to get out, like let me out or whatever. Because again, home is my happy place, so.
Isolation must-haves.
Pretzels. I could live off pretzels. But pretzels, some sort of camera, whether it's on the phone or just an actual camera, and some form of Scooby-Doo that I can watch. Just because Scooby-Doo is like a comfort to me. So if I don't have Scooby-Doo, I don't feel comfortable. Something is wrong. I mean, I guess you could say like family, blah, 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 whatever. But my girlfriend, Mariah, is a must-have. We went 2 months without seeing each other when this all started. Those were a long 2 months, let me tell you.
Your isolation routine.
Okay, so this was kind of a big thing, I felt like, because I wanted to make sure I had a routine so that I didn't just become lazy and do nothing while I've been home. And for the most part, I followed it. It's kind of altered and changed. I mean, it kind of depends on what happens during each day too. You know, things can change. But for the most part, my routine has been get up at least by 9 or 10. I really want to be up by 9 at least. Otherwise, I feel like if I wake up after 9, I've missed a big chunk of my day. So I'll wake up, kind of go say hi to the pups. Well, usually I get up about 6 and let the pups out, and then I'll go back to sleep until about 9. But yeah, so I'll wake up, kind of go say hi to my mother and to the pups and whatever. Then sometimes, well, a lot of times, I'll get on Animal Crossing and do my Animal Crossing morning chores. And then I'll usually shower. I've kind of found to like showering early, because that once I'm showered and feel clean and ready, then I feel like ready to actually do stuff, start my day. But if I just drag out showering until like I absolutely need to, then I feel like I lose motivation throughout the day as I'm waiting to shower. So if I can shower like by 11 at least, then I feel motivated to really kick into gear and get stuff done for the day. Then usually it's filming and or editing videos from like noonish, 1ish to probably 7, 8. I will get lunch in between there at some point. So, you know, I'll eat something. I don't love breakfast. I'll usually skip breakfast unless I have a wild hair in me and eat breakfast. Then my mom usually comes home. When my mom comes home from work, which my mom is still going to work, when she comes home is usually when I kind of stop my filming and editing for the day, and I spend kind of the rest of the evening with her, and you know, we'll watch maybe an episode of the shows we're watching together, or you know, and eat dinner and whatever. Maybe we'll go outside together for a minute or whatever. And, you know, it kind of depends on the day. Some days I have my nephew over and we watch him, you know, so those days are kind of different. But then once we're going to bed, I usually stay up a good like 2 or 3 hours and kind of do, I guess you could say, me time if you want to say that. But like I'll watch YouTube videos, I'll watch my show that I'm watching, I'll play other games besides Animal Crossing or Animal Crossing, you know. So I just kind of chill for a good 2 to 3 hours before I go to sleep. And that's kind of been my routine for the most part. Again, kind of depends on the day.
What is the first thing you'll do when out of isolation?
You know, I haven't really thought about that because, like, I'll admit, my routine, like my daily life hasn't totally changed because, like, I wasn't going to school, so I didn't really have to worry about that. And, I mean, work, obviously I'm not going to work. I'm going back, but slowly. I'm not doing what I was doing at work before. You know, so I just, like, a lot of things haven't totally changed. There are things that have changed, but not everything has totally changed. And so I don't feel like coming out of self-isolation is going to be this grand big thing for me. You know, again, if I can go on that September trip to this convention, then that would be a fun, like, self-isolation break free type thing. But like, I never really had big plans. Probably one thing I really would like to do which it's not that crazy, but I just always enjoy it, and I haven't been able to really do it all this year because of everything, because of the pandemic. Is there's a outdoor mall in Vegas by our condo, and whenever things open up and things are safe again, I'd really like to just go back and stroll around that mall, because it is just that is like another fun place, I guess you could say. Like I really enjoy going there, and so I don't know, that's kind of something I would really like to do once all this is good and done.
What 5 things are you looking forward to post-isolation?
Going to the movies. I am a movie person. Disappointed I wasn't able to see Scoob in theaters, but hey, I was at least able to watch it still. So I mean, just going back to the movies. I want to go see a movie in the theaters again. That's something I miss. I think honestly, just kind of going out with friends. Not that I would do it a whole lot, but just kind of, hey, like, would you want to go do this day or something? I don't know, just kind of meetups with friends that I would kind of miss. Again, like I said, kind of the like chats that we would have at work. I miss that, seeing people at work that I haven't seen since all this started. 4, I think. Okay, one thing that's coming to mind is like going to an ice cream place. Like, I want to go get ice cream. And I know that's something really small, but like, I slightly miss that. Going and just getting ice cream. That was one of the last things I did before all of this started, was going and getting ice cream. And then for the last one, I think something else I would look forward to. Okay, and I think for 5, honestly, this kind of goes with like getting together with friends, but I would have co-hosts for my podcast. I'd have a bunch of my different friends and people that I know come and do the podcast with me. Since this has all started, we haven't been able to do that, and I'm honestly looking forward to getting those people back to the podcast with us. I think we had a lot of fun, and I kind of miss just having like all these different people come and get their insights and opinions and stuff. So that's something else I'm looking forward to, is getting back together for the podcast.
What do you wish people knew about CHD and coronavirus?
That was kind of hard, because like I haven't known really someone personally that's been affected by it, but really that like the people with CHD are considered high risk, and so we are protecting ourselves. We're self-isolating to protect ourselves, and like again, CHD is kind of a defect that's not necessarily visible all the time. I mean, if you saw my chest, you would obviously know something's up, but I'm not gonna go around being like, look at my chest, everyone, so just the like knowledge of like, oh, CHD, is CHD patients are vulnerable to the virus, and so I would just like that to be known, that like, hey, I am and others with similar heart conditions are considered high risk.
How has quarantine affected or changed you as a person?
Do you have any insight on that? Because I don't. Okay, like I don't feel like I've personally changed a whole lot through this. Again, I've just it's made myself more sure that like YouTube is what I want to do. It's my passion. I love creating content. So in that sense, I've been affected. I've been kind of assured that this is what I enjoy doing. This is what I would like to do. But overall, I do kind of feel like I know in other countries they wear masks, just every day to help protect everyone. And so I kind of feel like in other countries and other parts of the world, we kind of we didn't take into account, that germs can affect so many people in so many different ways. And so I think overall, it's kind of helping us learn that we need to take care of one another, and whether it be wearing masks around, whether it be making sure places are clean, just in that sense, I feel like it's kind of affected. And I mean, I've lived more or less that way my whole life because of my condition. I made sure I'm like keeping clean, keeping away from germs when I can, but at the same time, we also need to build an immune system. So like, need to be out there. We need to experience these germs, and our bodies need to kind of come in contact and learn how it affects us and learn how to fight it off. So it's kind of like a balance we gotta learn. But
do you feel accomplished?
I do. I don't necessarily know what sense the question is talking about, but I know I keep talking about YouTube, but again, I feel like I've really grown my channel since the whole self-isolation, and so I feel accomplished in that sense that I've been able to kind of grow more of a community and grow some friendships online. So in a way, yes, I do feel accomplished.
How has social media impacted your life in quarantine? For example, do you feel you're not doing enough?
I don't know if I would say I'm not doing enough. I think in some aspects, sure, I'm not doing enough, but we can't do everything, unfortunately. I think the hard part is with me doing YouTube and a bunch of social media stuff is I kind of do need to be on there a lot to reply to people and to interact with different people. But there's always the downside. There's the constant stories and rumors and this and that happened, and the world's here and the world's there. So I mean, it's very like saddening to go on social media at times and just see all the downfall that has happened. But you can't dawn on that, and sometimes you just need to take a break. Sometimes you just gotta cut it off, and there have been times where I've been like, okay, you know what, just turn it off for a bit. I'll get back to these people and whatever in a little bit, but I just gotta take a break here and there. So I mean, I think there's some upsides because I've been able to talk to a lot of people through it, but there's also been the downsides of hearing all the sad stories that's gone on around the world since all of this. And so yeah, it's kind of a balance, just like everything else.
Biggest fear is for losing isolation.
I mean, I think the biggest fear for anyone is, oh, I could get it, and how will it affect me? But I personally, my biggest fear is being around someone that has it, but doesn't show any symptoms, so they don't even ever know that they have it, but then they pass it to me or pass it to someone else that does show symptoms. And so I think that's the biggest worry, is just how it affects people so differently, and that it doesn't always really show necessarily that they have it. And so that's kind of been my biggest fear, is just being around people and not the unknowing, I guess you could say. The unknown, I guess, is always anyone's real big fear, but I guess I would say that's my biggest fear of going out anytime I do go out too.
That's the last question.
We did it! We answered the questions! So, those were quite a bit of questions. Hopefully I didn't bore you. Hopefully you guys got some insight on kind of what it's been like being self-quarantined, self-isolated with CHD. Again, this is a collab series with Team Heart on YouTube from Instagram. So the next video is going to be Sophie. So go check out her video tomorrow, and the link to her channel will be down in the description, of course. So go check it out, go give her a subscribe, go say hello. And that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!